Okay, I want to talk today about processing your dark. Okay, that's your dark dragons, your demons, your shadows. How do you process them and what are they? Okay, well, these are unloved bits of you. And these are the ones that you throw into the closet and then you board up the closet and then you brick it up and you leave those little parts of you in there to rust away by themselves. They're parts of you that you don't like. And, well, you can look into the psychology of how it all happens, but it's basically just things that, maybe you just didn't think they were socially appropriate because this ridiculous world we live in tells you that, for example, being homosexual is wrong, and until 1967, you could actually be hung for it in Great Britain, and even to this day in Saudi Arabia, they will take a sword and cut off your head. In Africa, they will persecute you if you are an albino. And then they want to eat you and cannibalize you. I don't know, maybe there's other ones, but those are two examples of places and things that might cause you to go and hide if you're pale or you swing that way. But the truth of the matter is that even to this day, in so-called enlightened countries like the United States and Canada, there are Fred Phelpses of the world who don't like homosexuals and will go out on their platform beating their drum saying, my Bible says it's wrong and these people shouldn't have even the most basic rights, like the right to marry the person that they love. And these people are guilty of all kinds of horrible, horrible things. Thank you, Fred Phelps, though someone, basically just a horrible, horrible, diseased mind person, Fred Phelps. And he gets his following because of, well, I don't know why anyone would want to follow Fred Phelps's lead. But, apparently he's dead, but, the memory remains, an institutional memory of a real asshole, a real asshole. And what do you do with a Fred Phelps? Well, I don't know. Maybe you celebrate him. Here comes Fred Phelps. We've made an impact. But if you get too many Fred Phelps in the world and, they start warping the world that way, well, they can get laws changed and no one will say stuffing the ballot box Hillary Clinton. And the new one that I heard from Paul Hellyer, the former defense minister of Canada, was that Hillary Clinton's big plan, if she was elected, she wanted to have a nuclear war with Russia. Well, I don't know. Paul Hellyer is about 95 years old, but he's been around a long time and he knows about the ways of the Clinton Foundation and the way they smuggle children from Haiti to Epstein's Island, where Jeffrey Epstein goes and chains them in dungeons, apparently. How do you really get to the root of what's true when even Paul Hellyer is, somewhere in his speech he says, well, it's political talk. So, clearly even the politicians, speak with a forked tongue, so to speak. So how do you actually get any truth if you can't actually go to Epstein's Island and search it out? You could go and bring a camera, but then, they can manipulate the cameras and, edit and censor. Anyway, all I know is that these stories keep coming out about human smuggling and child sacrifices. And is it just really bad scripts from horror movies, or is there any truth to it? How do we ever get to the root of it all? How do we get to truth? Because it seems like everyone is cooking the books. Kathleen Wynne in the province of Ontario. Or, they're overinflating the military budget by $600 billion, Donald Trump, who is supposed to be cleaning the swamp, but all he's doing is feeding the military-industrial complex that President Eisenhower said, watch out for this. And Trump was elected to clean the swamp. And, all these stories about 62,000 sealed indictments. Unseal the indictments. If there's prosecutions to be made, prosecute. Get off your fat asses. What the hell are you doing? He's halfway through his term and we haven't had anything but Scaramouche. I want to do the Fanducci. Nothing has happened with President Trump, and he was supposed to be the one that was going to clean up the cabal. He's a useless tit. He's a useless tit. He calls everyone else stupid. Now he's calling Rex Tillerson stupid. Donald Trump is the stupidest man on the planet. And I think it was fraud because he said it's rigged, folks. So he rigged himself into the election, into presidency. I think he's an illegitimate president. And I think everything to do with governments all over the planet are illegitimate. I was told the other day that Charles Taylor's wife is running Liberia. If you know who Charles Taylor was, he was a murderous son of a bitch bastard. Unbelievable war criminal. And he's apparently in jail. Why wasn't he executed? I mean, if there's going to be death penalties, it's got to be for crimes against humanity, where somebody is running a police torture state, and then his wife is going to be running the state when he's so-called in jail. Why isn't there any international action on Liberia and getting rid of these Taylors? Why do we have to kowtow to bureaucracies? Why? Well, I hate it all. And then someone says, well, you're Mr. Negative because you don't have any solutions. I've given you solutions. It's just that, one little old 3D person here yapping about it, I was never even trained to, do very many things, So don't look at me to do it, and there are specialists around who might be dodos and maybe need a kick in the ass and, they're looking for leadership. Well, I don't know. Do you want Paul Hellyer to be the prime minister? I don't think he's far enough up the scale. I mean, he's got a good idea of what the problems are, but he's trying to solve the problems on the scale of, we'll let these cabal people go and they can keep doing what they're doing, and then we'll just start up the Bank of Canada again. No, you have to remove the cabal, the oil cartels, the Rockefellers, the big pharmaceuticals, the big politicians, big oil, all of these, everything has got to go. It's got to go. You can't have half measures with this because the world is not moving on, and frankly, people are not thriving. And if you're not thriving as a population, it means it's rotten to the core. And you can't keep anything from the old system. It's all gotta go. Bye-bye. I'm Harry Weaver, and that's your update for today.